I've come to realize that comparison is a disease. Not only does it affect us mentally, but it also can start to affect us physically, emotionally, and spiritually. I think anyone who says they have never experienced comparison is probably lying. I think it's something all of us humans experience at least once in our lives, especially with how the world is going with social media. What is up? My name is Shelley Pretorius and I am the host from the Heads or Tails podcast. Welcome to the very first YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching. I want to quickly say I never intended for the Heads or Tails podcast to become a YouTube channel, but God works in unexpected ways, so here we are. If you like and subscribe and follow, it just helps me out so much and encourages me to continue this journey I feel God is calling me to. Okay, so let's get into it. I want to talk about how we can confront comparison. If you think about it, people use social media to reveal and show off only the good in their lives. Not intentionally, it's just ingrained in us that whenever something amazing happens, a milestone happens, it's only natural for us to want to share it with people and the ones we love most. I don't think it's a crime to share your achievements and milestones on platforms for the world to see. It's just how the world is going, and I'm sure everyone can agree. Yet deep down, those posts that others share can trigger us in ways we don't realize. Certain posts that others share may actually start to highlight the things that we lack in our lives. It's almost like those posts that they share are an evil reminder of the things we still yet don't have in our lives and the things that we so desperately want as well. And that causes us to start to compare. And it almost feels like a slap in the face. It's not a personal slap in the face, but somehow it feels like that, right? Some people see it as a rat race to buy a house, get engaged, get the best paying job, start a successful business, be known, etc. I want to tell you, God never intended life to be a rat race. He created us. He didn't create us to compete with each other. He created us for a relationship with Him, and that's it. But we as humans, and the enemy uses this, he uses the curse of comparison to keep you feeling like you're not good enough, what you have isn't good enough, and there's always going to be others around you who are better than you. And so today I just want to list 3 things that helped me not only confront comparison, but start to conquer it as well. So number 1 is understanding your own uniqueness. I want to start off this point with there is only one you. So you might as well be the best you can be. A way we can confront and conquer comparison is to start looking within at our own talents and our own gifts and knowing that you have such an incredible uniqueness about you that nobody else has. Like, that's pretty special if you actually think about it. And if you haven't figured out what you're good at or what your gifts are, you can actually start to ask God or start to work on yourself, start brainstorming on what you love, what you're good at, and don't you dare try tell me that you are talentless or you have no skills, because I want to say you absolutely do. And it says in the Bible that when you become a Christian and you accept the Holy Spirit into your life, God gifts you with spiritual gifts. He actually gives you holy spiritual gifts that only comes from Him. How cool is that? I love that idea of that. Maybe you feel like your gifts and talents aren't good enough and you become a Christian and you accept the Holy Spirit into your life and He grants you gifts and talents that you never had before. It's amazing. But if you're not a Christian and I want to say you still have gifts and incredible talents. God has still blessed you with incredible earthly gifts, skills, and talents. So both Christian, non-Christian, keep listening, because I do believe these 3 points can still help you out. I just needed to take a quick break, honestly. It's my first video, so I'm not being too hard on myself. And I'm feeling so nervous doing this video. Oh, this is how nervous I am. I can't believe I'm showing you my freaking sweaty armpit, but this is how nervous I am. Anyways, continuing. Okay, I can't believe I showed you my sweaty pit. Okay, something that I found that helped me start to love my gifts and talents and appreciate it was I started to, even though I found them so insignificant and not good enough at the time, I started to place confidence on those skills and talents. It's like when you decide to wear something so out of your comfort zone and it's outrageous, but you wear it with confidence, you actually look so good and you stand out in the best way possible. Just like that, start to place and add a sprinkle of confidence to your gifts and start believing that what you possess is so unique and there will never be another you. So you actually might as well own it anyway. Just stay in your own lane, quit looking left and right, because that's when you crash and burn. It's like being on a motorway. You shouldn't be looking at what cars are next to you and who's in front of you, because you need to be concentrating on your own lane. And just, life is short. You might as well own who you are. Okay, so while we're on the subject of understanding your own uniqueness, we also have to start understanding that we are all on our individual time clocks and timelines. I have a friend who went against the so-called rat race. First, she became a mum to 2 kids, and then she got engaged, and then she started studying, and she's in her 30s and she's halfway through her law degree, and she's thriving because that's her timeline. And she isn't looking left and right at other people. She is putting her head down and focusing on what she needs to be doing. That doesn't make her better or lesser than others. My other friend went straight into psychology after school, studied for 6 years, qualified, and now she's a mother, married, and is doing so well. She isn't focusing on other people. She is putting her head down and focusing on what she needs to do. And me, I left school at 16. I was a dropout. I became a flight attendant when I was 19, got paid to travel and see the world, loved it, loved every second of it, left that, studied broadcasting, and now I am living at home with my parents, and I'm 28 years old and I'm single. Don't you dare judge me. Don't you dare judge me. Do you think I wanted this? Do you think I wanted this? Absolutely not. My plan was to get married at 25, have kids by 30, and live that bougie lifestyle. The more time I spend with God, He has revealed to me that that dream I had is only the most tiniest part of what I really want in my life. That His purpose is so much bigger than that teeny tiny dream I had in my mind. And that doesn't mean that that's not going to come. You know, like, where I am is where I'm meant to be. And God has placed me where I am. And I've learned to accept it and I actually start to get excited, because I start to realize that that's only a teeny tiny part of what's going to happen. What God is doing overall in my life is so much bigger. And He has that for you as well. The things that you so desperately want and dream of is only a tiny part of what God has for you in this life. So point number 2 is humble yourself. I know you're probably thinking, point number 1, you're going completely against it by saying accept your uniqueness and embrace it, you're great, you should love yourself, and then going straight into humble yourself. I'm going to try explain this point number 2 in a way that it doesn't contradict the first point. So when I was meditating and spending time with God on how I could put this episode together, and I was really asking Him, what is it that you want me to share on how to deal with comparison? I came across this verse, and it's Luke 14:10, and it's, "But when you are invited, go and recline in the lowest place, so that when the one who invited you comes in, he will say to you, 'Friend, move up higher.' You will then be honored in the presence of all your other guests." I found this verse quite confronting, because you know when you go to a restaurant or a cafe and you're with a group of people and you all rush to the comfy seat on the wall, it's like the couch. I rushed to that seat, or I rushed to the front seat of the car, because I'm like, nope, I want that seat. It really was triggering for me, because I was like, wow, I'm not humble. Like, I know it's just a seat. I believe that a way we can actually not only confront comparison, but we can also start conquering it, is by actually humbling yourself. And don't take the best seat at the table, and don't assume that you deserve that seat over your friend. Yes, be confident in who you are and in your gifts, but don't fall into the trap and lie that you are better than those around you and that you deserve that seat. Because when you do that, someone will walk into that room or your life who you're intimidated by or you're jealous of, and you start to compare yourself because they are messing with your status or title. No. humble yourself and be confident knowing you are loved regardless of where you sit, how many followers or likes you get. I'm not going to lie, I was the queen of comparison. But that's why I'm here today talking about it. I saw everyone and everything as a threat to who I was. I was full of pride, full of jealousy, and I think this stemmed from my competitive streak. I wanted to win at everything, and when I didn't, I became so full of hate, pride, and anger and insecurity, and it's exactly where the devil wanted me. So, where can we start in humbling ourselves? You're not going to like this. I hated this, but we can actually start praying for them and blessing the people you're jealous of with the things you want. So you know that person, that one particular person you're jealous of and you want everything they have, start to pray for them and bless them with everything you want. I know you're probably not going to like this. I didn't. It's very uncomfortable, and it's not a comfortable thing to do, pray and bless those who you're jealous of, but it will start to bring you freedom. I promise you, because you're letting go and you're saying, yes, bless them with those things, because I know I'm going to have those things anyway. So try that. Try doing that. It's hard. I'm working on it. It's really hard, but it's worth it. It is, I promise. If you don't humble yourself, God will eventually humble you, and it hurts like hell when it's forced upon you. I was humbled a couple of years ago and it really hurt. So just humble yourself. Trust God's got you. So when we compare ourselves with others, we actually start to forget entirely that God's got us. That no matter where we are in life, whether you've just dropped out of school, whether you're a full-time single mother, or you're in a position where you're struggling financially, our circumstances and situations don't change the fact that we are in God's hands. We're in the palm of His hand. And that what your neighbor has or owns or what they do for a living, that doesn't mean now you have to miss out on your blessings. Maybe your friend just got a great promotion in their career and you're feeling a bit jealous and bitter. But if you think about it, it doesn't mean now you're jobless and homeless because that person got a great promotion. What someone else has should never define where or how your life has to go. Just because people on social media constantly looks like they are receiving blessings, gifts, and going through milestones, that doesn't mean that yours will never come. So like I said, instead of being bitter, jealous, or cynical about what others receive, start to actually trust that God's got you. And a way we can start to overcome comparison is to just start trusting that God does have that special plan and purpose for your life. And you need to understand that plan and purpose for your life is going to look completely different to the person you're comparing with. So that brings us to the end of this video on how to confront comparison. Thank you again so much for watching, and remember, God has you exactly where He wants you. He hasn't left you behind or forgotten about you, and you're actually on the forefront of His mind 24/7. And just because someone else gets a blessing doesn't mean now you have to miss out on yours. So keep praying, keep trusting, and humble yourself before God and the people around you. Make sure you like and subscribe to not miss the next video. Catch you later.